Hello everyone and welcome to Surviving the Aftermath, a survival city builder game that has been in early access for quite some time now, but is finally releasing with version 1.0, and in collaboration with Paradox, I'm bringing you the latest gameplay of the latest version. I've already covered this beautiful city builder a couple of times on my channel now, and with version 1.0 a lot of things changed and a lot of things have changed in this game that if you haven't seen yet, I urge you to watch this one because it is really one of the very good city builders out there. Without further ado, let's actually get into a new game, and the premise of this game is modern civilization is gone. It fell apart in a time when rivaling superpowers fought over power and ideology, and we kind of like need to survive in this barren wasteland. We're of course having no tutorial. I'm going with a balanced playthrough so we can decide what we want to go here for in the settings. Catastrophes, for example, we got meteor showers, we got ice ages coming towards us, we got plagues and radiation, pollution and stuff like that. But I'm just going with the more balanced playthrough here. Environment, we can see, or we can say how much fertile ground we have, soil we have for farming, for example, how many survivors we start with. We do get new survivors in the course of the game with quests and stuff like that, but we're also going here with balanced one, the same with our technology. Now, what we also can decide right now is our specialists. There's two that we can start with. Now, specialists we can send out to the world map later on, and they can also protect our village and our city there. So I rather go with two. One is for attacking and scouting, and the other one is probably for researching. So K tier is pretty good for researching. She gives me 250 science points there, and I like that each one of these specialists have their own story. A long time ago she graduated to a new life with a long shift in the ruins of her old home, saving people from the rubble, and now she's saving us. And then I would like to go with someone that is a bit more into attacking and speed, that has a lot of action points. So there we have Jin, for example. She's got some good damage and speed bonuses there. So two women there actually. Oh, I'm all for equality. As we continue to the next one, red it is as usual, and we can decide between a few symbols here as well. Let's go with something that looks a bit more hopeful, and we can also decide on the colony name, and I'm going ahead here once again, Sleepy Hollow it is. And for my colony motto, let's do something here, rather death than dishonor, haven for all, under the shade we flourish. That sounds okay. Let's get cracking. Alrighty, and here we are now in this barren wasteland. This is newly generated every time we start a new game, right? So I have no idea what's really awaiting us. We can see that we do have some water over there. We have our, well, our gate in the middle here that is still in ruins, and we have one sole settler here. The world is in ruins. Many things once considered normal are hard to find, and habitable land is no exception. A settler has finally found a spot for a new colony with a place to call home. It is time for a new beginning. Welcome to the Aftermath, survivor. Let's build a campsite with this guy here first. Would be the very first building that we have here. We get lots of buildings and we need to research even more. But for our very first one, well, here somewhere in the center I think would be a good idea. Just beside that pile here. What is that? A plastic pile. Plastic trash that once we can deplete that. So with the campsite, it is where everything begins. Let's actually build this one right here. My settler is going for it now. I think we could then also start building some roads there. Once he finished with that, this is rather close to the gate, then I think this is fine too. There's some berries, there's some forest over there and fertile ground. And yep, there it is. The camp is finished. The inhabitants, there are survivors waiting for signal from the settlers. They are cold and hungry, yet willing to work. Should the colony take care of them in return? They can be invited right away or later. Let's continue preparing first, so we can build a few houses before we get those survivors in, because once those survivors are in, the game really starts to, well, starts to work, right? So for that, I would like to have my first storages then as well. Here we're going to have a path more or less, and I'm going with the stockpile as my next building, and with my food storage. So this is where we can house then all the food, right? Both of them here as well. There is already a street, so I would like to use that as well. And this one is being built rather instantly. We can also decide then on some work area. So the stockpile will get us some planks that we are going to need as well. So let's get these planks up there, and the food storage here is going to take us the berries, so that we have some berries rather close by. We should look out for that. We got some 90 food at the moment available, no water and no survivors, of course, yet as of the moment. Since we still have a few resources, another very important thing is the well. Now the well is going to provide us with water. Let's just see that we do get a nice efficient spot for this very first well, and there we can see 90% efficiency we would have up here. And I guess that sounds about right. This gives me plus 12 water, and this can also be built here as right away. Perfect. I think we have almost everything. Tents is something that we have. Of course, the very first tier of tents that we have, very flimsy shelters with minor happiness penalties, and must also be heated during the winter storms. And let's actually get us like 2 tents up here. They are being finished immediately, and let's also have another block of tents then up there as well. So my people that come here do get their house right away. I think that is it overall. Let's shoot the flare.
There are survivors.
And the inhabitants, prompted by the signal flare, the rest of the group arrives at the prepared campsite. Despite all the hardship ahead, it's time to rebuild and turn this hostile place into home. There we have them, and we also get our first smaller achievement with that. So down here we have the colony prestige points, right? So for every single achievement that we get in the course of building it, we do get those colony prestige points, and with them we can purchase us ornaments that we can beautify the citizens with, or the settlement then as well. Now with that we can also start building now some roads that I would like to have here in the center. We can make this paved roads then as well later on. And then definitely here where we have those tents already, and this connection there as well. Now those settlers are immediately beginning to work. We have 11 now available. 7 of them are carriers. That is, when someone doesn't have an occupation, they're just carrying stuff around and helping with my food storage and with my stockpile to get the resources in. Each one of them, and that is pretty cool, has their own names, their own story, their own education, shelter, age. So they're also dying of old age, of course. We do have 4 children at the moment. They can't do really that much, but they're going to help out where they can. Now the highest priority right now, what we're building already, is the well. It's already being built, as we can see, by 2. This one will provide us the water, as we're negative with the water at the moment, and we have 200 water in store. Not that much. It does cost me a lot of plastic and a lot of wood. Now wood is already something that we get in with the stockpile. The plastic not, so I will need to have a recycler. This one is getting those plastic piles there and turns it into plastic that we can use. Let's have my first recycler, perhaps a bit further outside here, right? We could also have it close to my storage. Yeah, let's have it close to the storage there anyway, right? Already have those. And this one will need to be built now. As it is night on day 0, the sun is going down, as we can see. The well has been built, and with that we have at least a surplus of +1, so there is a bit of water now coming in. The storage is 300, nothing else that we could do in here at the moment. Now I would also like to plan ahead right away. We do need an outhouse. Why? Well, basically because. And this outhouse, let's not place it so centrally. It probably should be a bit further away from the village, as it is causing a bit of pollution there. Here by the gate, I think there is some water. Actually, let's not do this by the water, but we could rather do it out here somewhere as our outhouse. And this one here is being then for my people. They can relieve themselves here. Let's continue with some roads. We are already having this road here finished, as we can see, so it can then continue up there. I like to have some bigger, broader streets, as I think it just makes a bit more sense overall. The next day is dawning. Very good. And my people are still carrying stuff around. Ah, very good. And the recycle has been built. As we can see, we can have now some occupation here. One is already automatically assigned, and we can place it then over there for the plastic. That's 430 plastic waiting for us. Another very important building is the logging camp. So out of the planks that we get, we can make some firewood, and firewood is pretty important when we have a winter storm, for example. So let's get us the next production building. Yeah, probably over here somewhere. We have some space. We have lots of space, by the way. So space is not the problem, but we're also limited by a few factors. For example, here we have this pollution area. So this is causing pollution in the area here, so it should not affect the logging camp. I hope I'm right about this. And we need to remove this one later. Outhouse has also been built. Perfect. People can now go there if they need to. There's still food now coming in. We need to constantly check this one, by the way, so that there is enough berries. And for my work area, as we can see, also almost all the planks are gone. Only this one here is left. Now there's the last plank. Let's move my area a bit further away. Probably, let's get over there. Perfect. And also the logging camp has been finished. So there should be someone now starting the work right away. There it is, Bessie. And Bessie is also no longer a carrier then, but rather someone with a job, a worker. We have 2 of them at the moment. And Bessie is hopefully very careful about not touching this polluted area. Very good. And also the logging camp is now having its production, and we get the first firewood in. A bit more preparation there. Perfect. Now, the next thing that I would still like to build before we build the gate. Now, bear in mind, once we build the gate, we're visible to the open, right? Then we get raider attacks, then we get new survivors, then we get quests, and then we can send our specialists out to the world map. Before I do that, however, I want to properly prepare myself with medical tents. Now, a medical tent is pretty important once people fall sick. Also, it's costing me quite a bit, and we should definitely do it though now before anything. So let's go ahead and have our medical tents. We might have them actually here by the gate. I think this might make sense as well, because with that we basically get those people then quickly in. If there's survivors coming from outside, they can go directly to those medical tents. I'm going to build 2, even though this is really expensive, but it's going to pay off long-term wise. So let's do this. Let's have our medical tents then right here. 40 plastics, and since that is a lot, I'm going to assign a second one to my recycler here that can also get us the plastic, so we get a bit more in here. And it doesn't take long that we already get our first quest. Not everybody is equally skilled in the art of building, but one of the colonists seemed extraordinarily bad at this. His tent looks like it could collapse at any moment as the poorly sewed tarps slowly rip apart. Regardless, the colonist insists he knows what he's doing. Okay, we could improve it with 30 planks of ourselves or wood. Let's do this. And with that, against his wishes, some adjustments are made to the colonist's home. He seems displeased by the whole ordeal, but manages to mumble his thanks after the work is done, and 20 happiness with that. Very good. This brings me to another point that is pretty interesting and pretty important. Happiness. Up there we have it. Overall happiness is rising right now, and happiness, well, affects, for example, how much schooly pooping my villagers do, so reproducing. That is pretty important, and how good they are at their work. Now, those medical tents are getting those resources. We are totally out now. That was, of course, to be expected. As the first or the second day actually is going to end now. Very good. This medical tent has everything now. And this one's still going to take a while. And I hope these workers know what they're doing, so that we don't get that quest again. Perfect, there's the medical tent. We could have someone working on it right away. I'm not doing that, however. So we're going to make this one not work at the moment by simply clicking on it. No worker is assigned now, and we only need to assign someone in case there is some sick people, right? Then there's still someone rushing to that tent here, and we can treat them. And I'm going to have 2 because one medical tent is only housing 2 patients at the same time. And we have already almost 12 people. That means, well, if there is a catastrophe coming now, one medical tent might be full rather quickly. So we can, with that, also prohibit any people from dying or something like that, or prevent any people from dying. Very good. We're getting lots of resources in. I think we have everything that we need, and we could now start with getting us the gate up. The gate opens up the world around the colony for exploration and sending specialists beyond the colony. An evolving colony also attracts bandits, but the guarded gate can protect them. 190 wood and 175 plastic this one costs. It is a major project. It is really huge, and it's going to take a while. There we can build it. It's the tier 1 gate, and we can also, of course, upgrade this one as we progress. Colonist Harry is irradiated, so there we got the first sick person. That means I can now assign someone to the medical tent, and the irradiated Henry is already rushing now. Harry is rushing to the medical tent and is being treated here, as we can see. At the same time, I think my planks are out, so let's just move this one over here. There's still some 76 wood waiting for us, and then up there we got some ruins as well. Now, of course, the map is much bigger than it looks. We have some fog here. I can clear this fog later then with some scout towers. So building one here, I could open up this whole area then as well for us if we want. We got lots of building space there, so that's actually a pretty cool map that we have right now. And this colonist is now almost treated. There it is, feeling much better. Oh, there was a child actually. Let's put this one to inactive once more. And this gate here is now getting those resources, but as we can see, it's going to take a while. Another quest that is happening. Uneven ground. Oh, unfortunately we don't have the wood for it. Muffled cries for help start echoing from one of the shelters. Inside a large hole has opened up on the ground. Can we kind of like stop this one? Oh, very good. But the problem is here, it's having a timer, of course, and we're using all the planks right now, the wood for the gate. Let's pause the gate there until we have 10 wood, because I would really like to bring this to a positive end. Are they still delivering that though? Ah, no, there it is now. Now we have something in store, and now we can build a makeshift ladder. And with that, we do get some 20 happiness on top of that again. Now we can continue with the gate. Okay, so the gate has now all the plastic. We're still waiting for a bit of wood as the next quest is appearing. More than a bit of wool. One of the colonists approaches looking more than a little nervous. She says that she might be able to provide some clothing. Her grandmother used to teach her while she was a child. She wants to get some fiber from us. Do we have fiber? I don't think we have fiber at the moment, but we can give it. So I guess we do have it somewhere. Ah, there it is. We got some 24 fiber in store right now. Okay, it's a risk, but we could do this. And she's given the fiber and she hurries off, grateful for the trust. After not hearing from her for a while, some colonists decide to go take a look. The little fiber that hasn't been ruined has been mangled into a patchy, poorly made coat that will surely fail to protect even from the slightest dribble. Sorry, I really tried. Alright. That should be a lesson for me. Alright, the next day is dawning, and just on time we do have now every resource available here for the gate, and we can finally start construction. What I can also see though is that my food is rather running out. At the moment the consumption is 9. We do have a production, but it's not very predictable. So we could change that by, for example, giving us a fishing pier. We do have a lake close by that I might use for it. So there we have it. Perfect. A bit of water that we can then use for a bit of fishing, and we also have a trapper that gets game from the forest that we have. We do have a couple of forests available, so a trapper out here might also be a good idea. That is going to provide us with that. Oh!
You've rebuilt the gate and gained access to the world map.
The gate is now open and the vast world stands ready. Perfect, and with that also a new milestone has been achieved. Let's get the trapper over here actually. A bit further away from the rest. There's still a bush of berry here, and I don't want to have it too close there to the pollution. And yeah, once we finish the gate here, we are open for business. It's a pretty cool looking gate, by the way. And as we can see, the first group of survivors is already arriving.
A ragged bunch shuffles slowly towards the gate.
And well, they also have a specialist, Mugga, he's called. He's quite the character, and he is yeah, he's doing a lot of damage, and he's very good at scavenging stuff. Also, we get 8 survivors, 8 adults, 4 children with that, and some supplies here as well. Let's accept them as the first ones. And with that, we also have 11 colonists now homeless. Of course, also my water supplies are now not sufficient anymore. So I'm going ahead with a second well that we could hopefully have somewhere, please, that is providing us with a bit of water. There we have it. We have around... yeah, what can I do about it? 87 productivity here for the well. That would still not be sufficient. So I'm going to need another one. And hopefully somewhere over there. Oh, there's really not that much. There we have it, 100%. Here in the forest we can have another one. They don't need a road connection necessarily. They're just producing that for us over time. But of course we are running out of space then for the well. So we'll need to think about new means for the water supply. I might also be thinking about a clean water storage. But since we have some survivors, I should build some more tents for those guys. So they have some space to sleep in. So let's go ahead and build us a few more tents here. 3 more should suffice there, hopefully. Now what we can also do is we can send our specialists to the world map finally. Right. Kate we got, Jin we got, and Mugger we got. Yes. Let's just see. Those are rather fast, right? Your orders. He's doing a lot of damage. So I'm going to keep Mugger at the moment in my colony to protect. And the other ones we can send on the world map. So those 2. And we can also watch them. There they are, running now out there. Alright, and I think we are also running out of material once again. Berries are done. Fishing pier is still being in construction. Nope, it's looking actually good. Finley is irradiated though, so we do need someone to tend to him. There you go. And for... now, that should all be fine right now. So really just finish those tents, please. And that fishing pier here, very important, as food is about to run out soon. Let's go to the world map. Finally, out here we are now with our specialists ready for action. We already got some 2 points of interest here that would provide us with some resources. In the grander scheme of things, we do have a big world map really around us. And there's also a museum that offers us 500 science points. Now, who was the scientist? There it is. Kate, she is. Okay. Let's send her over there. And it's going to take a while now, right? So every 12 hours, she produces 250 science points out of that for 24 hours. And then we got this scout here. She would be good for, well, scouting, obviously, getting us some new territories around us. So let's just open up this area. And that's also going to take a while. Charlotte is asking if she's glowing. I think she is. And she's another patient. We have 2 patients now that need treatment in the medical tent. 3 now, so they're being irradiated somewhere over here as they're getting their wood. That is inevitable, so I can't do anything about that really, other than keeping my medical tents open. 4 are now irradiated, so let's open up the other medical tents so we can treat them a bit more quickly. And there's also the first meteor showers. Bit bad timing here because we are running out of resources already. Let's start repairing them. And I hope that we can still survive this one as it's looking rather bad right now. We still have a bit of water, but we're lacking resources at the moment. And 1 stockpile is not enough as it seems. I'm going to stop the logging camp because it's consuming wood for us, right? And we need every wood right now for all these constructions. Now my scientists are ready. This one here has been fully scouted now. And there's actually some crumbling house with some medicine in it. Let's go for this one, as medicine is pretty important to quickly heal people. And he's still researching. 250 science points we already have. Perfect. So we could actually start with researching. Now there's actually quite a lot to research. As we can see, we have some huge tech trees. There are 5 of them in total, and each one of these tags is pretty important for us. I'd start with the first one, skinning here. That would allow us to get us fiber as well, in addition to the meat that we get out of the hunting cabins. So let's go ahead and start researching on this one. And then we do get the metal scavenging over here that allows us to get metal, which is pretty important. Let's just see, and education, that we have it for the school. And the frontier outposts are really important as well. In fact, they're so important that I might reset my queue so we can stop this research there. And I would go for the guardians then right away. So we can put this in queue. This is now being researched afterwards. And then the frontier outposts. We are going to need these outposts to get us new science points later on. Right, so 150 we still have. 250 more should be coming in then soon. And that should be the end of it. Why are we not able to finish any buildings though? This is a bit worrisome right now. Alright, this one is idle again. So we have treated everyone. And please... finish those. We need wood. A lot of it is, as it seems. So as we can see, they're still getting the wood from these ruins there. But it's taking them some time. Now the fishing pier has been finished. Very good. Let's actually put 2 people on that right away. They're going to fish now for us and hopefully help us in the process of getting more food in. The berry bushes here are fine. Now please prioritize my wells here, as this one is really urgent now.
We've made a new discovery.
And also the first tech has been researched. Skinning is now completed. Meanwhile, the scavenging is completed. We got the 500 science points out of it. And we can now continue with my other specialist as well. Let's go over here, where there is something to scout, and this one is still scavenging the medicine that we need. Alright, there we have the well now ready. Ooh, that was really close with that. We have a bit of a surplus of water again, so people can actually drink something. We can now build those tents again, but yeah, it shows me for the future we need more water storages, because if there is one single group of survivors coming in, well then things start to turn nasty really quickly. We've also finished this area now, and as we can see, there's an observatory. This one here needs a research outpost though, right? And with that we could then produce 25 science points every 12 hours, and I think infinitely so. So this might be really good then once we have those outposts. Now we also got the first dead people here, either due to old age or because some accident or something like that, or radiation. So what we still need to do is also we need to build us now a burial pit, a modest burial pit where colonists are laid to rest. Otherwise they're going to lie around there forever and basically are starting to pollute the air or the soil around them as well. So let's get this burial pit a bit further outside perhaps, so somewhere over here as well, where we have the trapper already. So right next to this, it's going to take a while before our town can grow this way, right? And once we finish that, we can actually get these dead people over there and should be happy with that. Very good. The next tents are also finished here, so only 4 are homeless now. With those tents, we can then finish, or well, fulfill this problem there as well. Now those guys here will be then delivered once we finish the burial pit. I should look out for more means of getting wood, and I guess a forester or a lumberjack hut would be fine for that. But it's the end of for now. I hope you enjoyed this very first sneak peek preview of version 1.0 of this beautiful and very complex city builder with many features that I've created here in collaboration with Paradox. And I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned.